Hello, friendships, and welcome to the We Are Growing podcast. I'm your host, Ava Medina, and I am so glad that you could join us for this episode. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. If you are a return listener, thank you so much for sticking with me through episode 1 and 2. This is definitely a growing process. It is something that we are figuring out together. So thank you so much for your patience and understanding while we get this going to the best that it can be. I am happy to introduce you to episode 3 of season 1. I am so excited for this episode. It's a lot of good information. Before we jump into it, couple things. I wanted to let you know what we were kind of doing with this season. And so what we'll be doing is that season 1 will be 12 episodes long. And we're going to have mini series within the season that are going to be 3 episodes long. So every 3 episodes, it's going to be a kind of a mini series that will center on a theme. The theme, of course, for this mini series that we'll be wrapping up here with episode 3 is change. So these 3 episodes have been all about change. Episode 1 was very much going from I'm unhappy and something needs to give to the internal work of getting prepped for change, really doing that internal work of does this need to change, assessing it and getting to the point that, I don't want to show up as this version of myself anymore. We need to make a change. And then episode 2 was very much practical, actionable steps that you could take to start implementing change. Very much goal setting, breaking down big goals into small tasks, getting those done. Very actionable. This episode is going to be kind of a mix of both, where it's going to have mindset and practical, actionable steps together, because this episode is going to be all about commit and conquer, your ultimate guide to crushing your New Year goals. It's all about commitment. It's all about maintenance and staying committed to the change, to the goals. When we start, it can feel really overwhelming and kind of difficult. And we want to make sure that we want to make sure that this is a lasting, actionable, a lasting change. We don't want this to be something we tried one year that didn't quite stick. We want this to be an evolution of ourselves into the best version of us. And so in that sense, maintenance is so important to maintain that change, to maintain your growth towards your goals. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that I will be releasing workbooks, follow along companion workbooks to each episode. I'll talk more about that towards the end of the episode, but it is going to be so amazing. And I definitely want to let you know that those will be coming. So as always, this episode will cover 3 main points. We'll be going over them one by one. And it is very much, of course, a personal essay style. So for our first goal, for our first topic, we're just going to jump right into it. For our first topic, it is going to be, in order to maintain your growth, your goals, and moving towards your goals, you're going to need to look at your goals. I know that this might sound kind of silly and obvious and kind of just like, what? But yeah, you're going to need to look at your goals. Like daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, look at your goals. Look at them and assess them. For me, especially, out of sight is out of mind. If I'm not seeing them every day, I'm going to forget about them. It's really easy to get caught up in the 9 to 5, in the rush, in the bills, in the daily grind, that at the end of the day, you just kind of forgot that that was even a thing. Oh, right, goals. Oopsies. We'll try again tomorrow. But of course, we don't make that plan and it never follows through. We don't want that to happen. So look at your goals. Look at them. And don't do the thing where your brain kind of is like, yeah, we're looking at them, but we've seen them so many times that we're just we're like autofill in, and we're looking without seeing. So we couldn't even tell you what we just saw. Don't do that, for sure. When you are looking at that, you are going to remind yourself of what you are striving for. That is so important. When you're looking at your goals, remind yourself what you are striving for. Go back to the work that you did in episode 1 and reflect. Reflect on the habits, behaviors, or patterns that you want to change that are no longer working for you and the cost of them. Reflect on that cost and then reflect on the section where you wrote, who do I want to show up as every day? That section, those two are going to be so important when you are looking at your goals, because that's going to be centered so much on the why we are making this change. Because these behaviors, habits, patterns are not working. That is why we need the change. I want to show up as this person every day, so I will commit to these tasks, to my growth, to my change, to show up as the person I want to be every day. It's so important to look at your goals. You don't have to look at them as often. I mean, hey, I look at them daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. But if that's too much, I suggest at least 2 of those. You should definitely be reflecting every day and focusing on goals every day, because it's the little things we do every day that grow and grow and build, and suddenly you are the person that you wanted to be. You are them right now. So look at your goals daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Reflect on the bigger year-end picture and then bring it back into the current day, into the current week, into the current month you're in. Make sure that you're still aligning with them. Make sure that you're still striving towards them every day. And in that, check in with yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Frequently check in with yourself. Are you doing too many changes at once? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you approaching burnout? If the answer is yes to any of those questions, scale it back. Scale it back. Bring it back a little bit. You're still moving forward. We're just limiting the amount that we're doing so we don't hit burnout and then just drop everything. You know, this is something we have never done before. We have never pursued change in the way that we are doing it right now. And if you have never done something before, you're going to mess it up a little bit at the beginning. If you have never cooked before, you're going to burn some food. You're going to over-season some food. You're going to go way beyond. You're going to mess it up. You're going to mess up your kitchen. So don't be afraid of that. Know that that is how you learn. You're going to burn food. So now you know you don't cook it at that heat. You don't cook it for that long. You scale back and you learn. It's all about finding balance, finding that medium where it is sustainable, because sustainable change is evolution. It is something that we can do even if we were to drop all the things that we were doing. Because we made this change sustainable, we're still doing it. We're still actively pursuing it day after day. Make it sustainable. So important. So check in with yourself. And then alternatively, maybe you are, instead of doing too much, you're doing nothing. Maybe you're procrastinating or avoiding your goals. And you're like, well, I can't even seem to get started. At that point, I definitely want you to talk with yourself about why. Round it back to your why. Are you committing to these goals authentically? Like, are they coming from you really wanting that change? Or are you committing to these goals for someone else? Because I feel like we all know committing to change on behalf of someone else because it's what they want you to do and not what you necessarily want to do never works out. It's just a recipe for resentment and anger. It doesn't end with your joy. Even if you do the thing, it's not going to bring you happiness because you're not pursuing your happiness. You're pursuing someone else's happiness. And like, why? They have their own life. Let them pursue that happiness. Pursue your own. Don't pursue someone else's happiness because you think that's going to make you happy. Pursue what makes you happy, what brings you joy. So talk with yourself. If you are avoiding or procrastinating change, maybe you are not in it authentically. Maybe you don't actually want this change. And then if you are perhaps avoiding it out of fear, like maybe you think that there's a lot of hesitancy around your goals, around reaching them, a lot of fear, write that down. Journal with yourself. Every fear you have, write it down. No matter how ridiculous it might seem. Like, write it down. Like, if you think, if I say no to someone, the sky will fall, write it down. There is no judgment here. This is a safe space. We are not judging. We are trying to conquer our internal mindset to bring about the evolution that we want. And that's going to cause that's, you're going to hit some resistance inside yourself. That's okay. Journal it out. If you're feeling fear or hesitancy, journal it out. Every possible fear. And then counter them. Counter them. Will the sky actually fall if I say no to someone, or is that just how it'll feel internally? And in that case, maybe I need some emotion regulation. And that'll help me to see that it's not a big deal, that it's okay to put myself first. If your fear is, what if I fail? Counter that. The only real failure is never starting in the first place. Counter it. Fear likes to hide in the dark, and it seems really obscure and scary, and you're like, well, it's just fear. You need to drag it into the light. You need to bring it out and look at it and go, actually, I don't think any of these fears are valid. They are valid to me, but I don't think that they're actually things that should be holding me back. And then counter them. So every time your brain wants to jump to that fear, it'll be like, nope, we're countering it. What if we fail? The only failure is not starting. What if we waste time? If we learn and grow from it, it's not a waste. Counter those fears. So every time they pop up, you can switch them over. And then take a look. Have you hit any other obstacles? You're like, yeah, no, I started on my change. I'm starting on my growth, but I keep hitting this obstacle. Okay. Take a minute, sit down. This is a battlefield, and you are a general. You are strategic. What you are going to do is look at that obstacle and devise a strategy. This is how we're going to conquer it. And then don't sit on that strategy. Go implement it. Go up against the obstacle and hit it with your best strategy and see if you can get past it. If you can get past it, fantastic. Keep going. You've got this. If you're like, yeah, no, that didn't quite work. I'm still hitting kind of like the same thing. That strategy didn't work. No worries. Back to the drawing board. We tried this method. It didn't work. Now we know. Can we build on that method? Can we tweak the method? Do we need a new one completely? You are a strategist. You are kick-ass. You can get this done. Sit down. Strategize for that obstacle. Plan for it. That's how you'll conquer it. You want this, and you're going to make it happen. I hella believe in you. We are going to make this happen. So look at your goals. Look at your goals. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. Look at your goals and assess how you are doing them. Which will actually take us into the next point here, which is managing that resistance. Now that we've looked at our goals, we're trying to implement our goals. Maybe we're feeling a little bit of resistance. It's hard. We've never done this before. It's something new. And we're like, it's so hard to just do the thing, right? Okay. Totally valid, totally normal. A lot of people have that. I had that for sure. I still have that sometimes. My best strategy, and all these strategies that I give you are tried and tested. I have beta tested them for you. They have worked for me, so hopefully they will work for you. If not, just try them, Managing that resistance to the task. My best strategy for this one is to create an identity shift to manage resistance. So we're going to move away from I'm trying to be to I am. I'm trying to be confident to I am confident. Okay. My best example for this is if, let's say, one day someone picks up a brush and they paint on a canvas. They create a beautiful painting. Are they an artist? Okay. Let's say every day for a year, they paint. They paint a canvas. So at the end of that year, they get into a gallery and they start selling their work. Are they an artist then? What's the answer? The answer is that they were always an artist. From the moment they picked up the brush and painted something, they were an artist. A lot of people will say that they were not an artist that first day, but that they were an artist at the last day of the year where they got in. And so you think to yourself, at what point did they become the artist? At what point did they become that? The answer is they were always the artist. They were always an artist. From the moment they picked up the brush, they were an artist. So make that identity shift. Make that shift. I am not trying to be confident. I am confident. If we're wanting to run a mile, run 5 miles, run 10 miles, I am not trying to be athletic. I am athletic. I'm not trying to be a runner. I am a runner. To our brain, the connotation is work. The connotation there is, this is hard. Trying takes a lot of work. It's hard. It's something that's going to be difficult and take time and effort. No. None of that. We're not trying. We are. From the moment we do the thing, we are. And making that identity shift will make that so much easier. It will help that resistance. It will cut down that resistance immensely. Okay, so make that shift. I'm not trying. I am. If you want to be confident, then from the moment that you talk to a stranger, the moment you step outside your comfort zone to talk to someone or compliment someone or engage in something in the way that you think confidence should be done, you are confident. You are not trying to be any longer. You are. And in that same realm, you're going to want to look back at the work you did in episode 1, that who I want to show up as every day section, that person that you described, read that through and really start to bring that person into your everyday life. If you are someone who wants to be athletic, then start doing something athletic every day. If you are someone that wants to be confident, start doing something that builds your confidence every day. And of course, that looks different. That looks different to different people. Some people might be like, yeah, I'm going to hit the gym. Some people are like, yeah, I'm going to join a sport. Some people will be like, yes, I'm going to approach people at networking events that I don't know so that I can talk to them and I can confidently approach them and get some information. I'm going to start dressing how I want and feeling more confident. Whatever the change you want to do, that you want to bring about, whatever it looks like to you, start bringing that person into your everyday life. Start being that person. And no, you don't have to be that person 24/7 all the time. You just need to be that person at least a couple minutes a day. Just really start feeling that vibe, getting into that energy. Start bringing that energy into your life right now so that you can feel confident that you are working towards it. At the same time, along with that, set these small, achievable, non-negotiable habits every day. So even when we wake up and we're like, today's a hard day, the thing is hard, I'm not even sure I want to do the thing. Create these, they have to be sort of achievable. So to be little small, achievable, but non-negotiable habits that you do every day. So that when you go to bed at night, you can feel assured, you can feel confident that you have made progress towards your goal, that you have made progress towards that growth because you did this, because you implemented this, because you did this non-negotiable habit. If you're trying to run 5 miles and you're like, yeah, running's probably not happening today, no worries, my friend. Get your workout clothes on. That's your non-negotiable habit, and getting outside. You don't have to run. You can walk. But often people feel like, hey, if I'm already here, I might as well do a little bit of running. But even if that's not in the cards for you today, walk, do something towards that. Today I did some endurance training, some stamina training. Do these little non-negotiable habits. Like, I want to be confident, but today is just not the day that I am feeling up to having a full-fledged conversation with someone that I don't know, that I can't do that today. Okay, no worries. I got you. Your non-negotiable habit could be that you have to give a stranger a compliment. This usually is not a long interaction. You just see someone, they have a super cute hairstyle, their shirt is rocking. So you just, as you're passing them, just making a little eye contact and going, hey, your hair's looking great. That color is amazing. Your shirt is epic. And then you can go. If you want a little bit more interaction, you can be like, where'd you get it? Where'd you get your hair done? Where'd you get that shirt? But if you're not feeling that, keep going. But you gave the compliment, you interacted, you embodied that confidence for those few minutes, those few seconds of that interaction. And those will build those small, non-negotiable habits, those daily things that we do. That's what grows. That's what builds. That's what gets you where you want to be. So it's okay if we're waking up and we're like, man, things are hard today. No worries. We are confident, so we can approach someone and just give them a compliment. We can approach a stranger and just give them a compliment. Even if we're not feeling our full confidence today, that's okay. But create that identity shift. I am confident. And in those situations, emulate it. I am an athlete. So when I'm doing something athletic, when I'm out, it's easier to get up. It's no longer I'm getting up at 5 a.m. because I have to go run. No. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. because I'm a runner, because I run best at 5 a.m. I can't do it after work. There's nowhere else in my schedule. I'm a runner. I need to run. This is the time slot that fits. And then when you go to a networking event and you're like, I am confident. I am confident, so I'm going to go up and approach someone because I already am. I'm going to go up and I'm going to chat with them and I'm going to give them my business card because I am confident. Embody that energy. With those non-negotiable habits, you will build that energy, that identity, because you did it yesterday, you did it the day before, you did it the week, the month, the quarter before. This is you now. And that will manage resistance so much, along with acknowledging the progress you're making. And making sure to know every time you are the change you want to be. This is so important. It is fantastic if people around you are like, damn, like you're getting more confident. You're getting like more comfortable in your skin. Like, man, you're getting really into this athletic thing. I see your commitment. It is fantastic to have other people acknowledge that. It's wonderful. And I definitely recommend that. And that's why I definitely recommend network group, like a support group for your change. But we cannot rely on that external validation. We can't rely on that to get us through. We need to validate ourselves. We need to be our biggest cheerleader. Because I'm not sure if you notice, but people are kind of in their heads. There's a lot going on in our lives right now, and people are they're in their heads. They're thinking about their grocery list, their tasks, their errands, that work thing, the kids, the pets, the plants, all the things. They're thinking all the things. And sometimes it is difficult, not that they don't love you, but sometimes it's very difficult to get outside of your own head to acknowledge others around you and what they're doing. So we don't wait for that. If we get it, hell yeah, use that as the boost to go get some shit done. But be your biggest cheerleader. You are the only person walking around your life every day. You're the only person following along with you in your head, in your thoughts, every single day. So acknowledge it. Acknowledge your progress. Give yourself a high five. Take a moment to stop and celebrate. Holy crap, you just said no to someone. You're feeling really overstretched today. Someone asked you for something and you told them no because you need to take care of yourself today. damn, girl, you are killing it. All right. You woke up at 5 a.m. today when you really didn't want to and you went out and ran. You fucking killed it. You are doing so good. You're doing amazing. Be your own cheerleader. Acknowledge that you did something that was difficult and you did it. You did it anyway. Be your biggest cheerleader. 110%. Acknowledge your progress, celebrate it. Our brain will want to focus on all the things we're not doing. Like, yeah, you ran that mile, but you haven't run the goal of 5 miles. Excuse me, no, that's not what we're talking about. Don't let it do that. Every time that critic wants to come in, like drop kick them out of the way and go, no, you did it. This is an accomplishment because you didn't even want to be out here at 5 a.m. running this, but you did it anyway. Every time it wants to be like, yeah, but you're still shy. No, you just went up and spoke to someone that you didn't even know at a networking event to get their number, to get their information, to exchange information, to possibly have a contact. You are amazing. You are doing so amazing. Only you can acknowledge really how hard that was and the amount of work that you put in. So do that. Do that for yourself. And that will take us in to point 3, our third point of this episode, which is going to be to outsource your motivation. And then let me explain that. Let me break that down for you. You alone should not carry the burden of motivating yourself endlessly to the end of time. We all have days where we wake up and we don't want to do the hard thing. We all have days where we wake up and we're like, wow, I'm not feeling it today. And in that time, it's great to have, like in point 2, those non-negotiable habits. But if you need to get more things done, you need to outsource your motivation, okay? And what that means is that you need to find a podcast, a YouTube video, a book, a Facebook group, a friend group, whatever it looks like to you that holds your motivation. You listen to really inspiring podcasts, you listen to really inspiring YouTube videos, you're seeing people in your position go out and succeed. And that is going to be also one of the biggest tricks here. One of the biggest, best things that you can do is make the mindset shift from comparison, jealousy, like that person's succeeding and I'm jealous of that because I want that. That's not going to help anybody. That's not a good mindset. What you need, though, what we can change that into is they succeeded, so I can succeed. They're winning it, I can win it. There's nothing stopping me. There's nothing holding me back. Use other people's success as your own internal motivation. Use their podcast, use their YouTube video, use that book. I have plenty of all of those. I have podcasts I listen to that I need motivation from. I have YouTube videos. I have friends that I message so that when you are not feeling it, you can watch them and you can get just so inspired and be like, damn, and you click off and you go do that thing. Because as soon as you get that motivation, run with it. Run with it. Okay? Text that friend like, hey, what are you doing today? How are you aligning with your goals? What are you doing to fucking rock it today? And they'll be like, hell yeah, listen, this is what I'm doing. I got you. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. This is what, like, how I'm moving towards my goals. And you'll be like, holy crap. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to get up right now. I'm going to go run that mile. I'm going to go do the hard thing because you've inspired me. Because if you can succeed, I can succeed. I would definitely outsource motivation 110% for when those days that you're just not feeling it, you have something that can spark it in you to go do that, to go run for that goal. Allow others to motivate you. Allow other success to motivate you. Allow friends, focused friends, cultivate intentional friend groups of people who are doing the same thing as you. They are trying to build that business. They're trying to grow that thing. They're trying to emulate this thing. They are doing it. They're going towards something. They are growing. Get those friends. Cultivate those friendships. And use them to inspire them as well, because that's what they'll be using you as well. It's a give and take. Inspire them, have them inspire you, share, be accountable. That network support group is so important. Along with that, and actually also along with your motivation, here's a little secret though. Past you can motivate present you. So let me break that down for you. It also ties back into our first point of this episode, which is to look at your goals. A daily review. This is how past you can motivate present you. It's 4 questions. I usually ask them of myself during my night routine. They're super easy. Should take you all of 5 minutes to fill out or less. 4 questions. You have your daily review. And that one is going to be, question 1 is just going to be, how did you align with your goals today? How did you align with your goals today? I aligned with my goals today by running a mile. I aligned with my goals today by talking to a stranger at a networking event. I aligned with my goals today by saying no to someone while I was already overstretched thin. I aligned with my goals today by blank, by completing this task. It can be 1 task, it can be 12 tasks, it can be however long or short you want it. But this is a great way of motivating tomorrow's you, and also checking in with yourself about your goals, about looking at your goals and keeping them in mind. So what did you do today that aligned with your goals? I aligned with my goals today by blank. And then the next question. What did I regret today? So a lot of studies will show that regret is, when used properly, is a great motivator. Because when we regret something, we feel so deeply about it, we don't ever want to do that again. So you're going to write down what you regretted today. I regret not focusing on my own growth more. I focused on a lot of other people today. I didn't focus on my growth, and I felt like I got nothing done. I regret not waking up on time, so I wasn't able to run my mile. I regret putting off my task and not getting it done. What do you regret? What action do you feel regretful for, that you just did not like, that you did and or you didn't do, and you're just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to show up as that person again tomorrow. Which will lead us into tomorrow's intentions. And your first question is going to be, how can I live life to the fullest tomorrow? So you're immediately going to counter that. So we have that regret. We're immediately going to counter it. How can you now, based on that regret, live your life to the fullest tomorrow? I can live life to the fullest by getting up on time and running that mile. I can live life to the fullest by saying no when someone asks me to do something and I'm already overstretched. I can live life to the fullest tomorrow by doing the task that I need to get done. Whatever it looks like to you, I can live life to the fullest tomorrow, blank. And then you can fill that out, but immediately counter it. So when your brain the next day wants to go, oh, let's do this thing. Let's just skip out on that mile. You can go, no, because I already regret not doing it yesterday. And I already told myself I was going to live my life to the fullest today by getting it done. Sorry, policy, can't do it. And then you get up and you go do that thing. Another question on tomorrow's intentions, this will be your 4th question, is what will I do tomorrow to align with my goals? So tomorrow I will blank. This is where you fill in the task that you will do tomorrow that will align with your goals. Because if we don't plan ahead, sometimes that decision fatigue will hit and the whole day will be a wash. Sometimes I'm like, it's 9 a.m. I'm already done with the day. I'm done. I don't know what to do. We're throwing it out the window and we're just starting again tomorrow. But then we don't do the thing tomorrow because we didn't do the thing today. So don't do that. Plan. This does not have to be long. I definitely don't suggest more than like 2 or 3 tasks. Personally, with how much I'm trying to conquer every day, I will only do the one task. Again, this is a learning process. It's going to look differently for you than it looks for me. So however many tasks you can do is totally fine. But in that learning process, you're like, I can do 4 tasks tomorrow and you only get 2 done. Okay, for tomorrow's intentions, maybe only plan 2 tasks because that's what we got. We don't want to feel guilty about not completing tasks we told ourselves that we were going to do, because this is all about building that self-trust and that self-confidence within ourselves. You know, like I said I was going to do this, I need to be able to trust myself that I can do this. At the same time, that will help. That will help to regulate what you're doing, will help you find that balance and that medium, and it will still ensure that you are getting things done. So those are 4 questions. It's that daily review, which breaks down into 2 questions. How did I align with my goals today? What do I regret? And tomorrow's intentions, how do I live life? An immediate counter to that regret, how do I live life to the fullest? What tasks will I do tomorrow that align with my goals? And that's how past you can motivate present you. You are seeing the work that you're doing. You're seeing the accomplishments. You are stopping every moment. You are stopping every night for 5 minutes to acknowledge your success for the day and to acknowledge that you will be continuing tomorrow. And that will help so much in the maintenance. All right. I think that is going to be it for our 3 points. So I'll quickly wrap up what exactly we spoke about in this episode. And that was, the first point is going to be to look at our goals daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. If we want change, if we want growth, we need to be looking at them and we need to be assessing them. Number 2 is to create an identity shift to manage that resistance. From the moment we start the thing, we are the thing. From the moment we start showing up as confident, we are no longer trying. We are confident. We are confident. And number 3 is to outsource that motivation. When you are just not feeling it, don't hold it in yourself to be your constant motivation. Outsource it. Gain inspiration from everywhere. Other people, other friends, podcasts, books, from everywhere. You are not in a vacuum. Take that inspiration. Like, I hope this podcast is motivational and inspirational to you to get that change done. All right, friendships. So that's going to be our little wrap up. And I will now briefly speak about the workbooks that will be coming out. I'm so excited for them. So it is a companion workbook to each episode. It's going to offer a lot more detailed, in-depth information about each episode. It's going to have the prompts that I talk about. So all those questions I shoot at you and I'm like, journal this, those will actually be in there so you can write, you can follow along. It's going to be such a tool, such a great tool to follow along with the episodes. And those will be coming out. I'm going to be releasing workbook 1, so workbook episode 1 companion, probably will be uploaded at the same time as this video. So go ahead and just check in the description. That workbook, that first workbook will be free. So feel free to download it, jump back into episode 1 and really go ahead and detail the notes, write it out. I can't wait to just have you make it your own. It's so great. And our next series, because this is going to be the end of the change little mini series. So the next series that we're going to be jumping into, the next 3 episodes, is all going to be about self. It's going to be a lot of internal self work. Like the next episode is going to be all about self-compassion and using self-compassion to jumpstart your growth and to aid you into growing to your goals faster, because it is just, you'll have to come back to the episode to really get that information, but it is, self-compassion is so key to bouncing back and moving forward. So key. So definitely, if you are interested in that, that's a good topic for you and you're like, hell yeah, I want to hear about that. Please join me for episode 4. It will be out next Monday. I'm so excited to have you join me. But this is now the end of our episode. So I wanted to just remind you real quick, gentle reminder, we are growing. It's okay to make mistakes. We are amazing. You are amazing. You are worthy. You are deserving. And you are kicking ass. Go out, take names, and run towards your goal. You're doing a great job. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your week.